Hello, welcome to this update for the Survey weather for May 2nd. So, we had a few changes since yesterday that we talked about. So, let's see. We now have an enhanced risk and a very big one for today, Friday, May 2nd. And this big slight risk that's like occupying most of the western Gulf Coast, and this margin risk that goes as far north as Vermont. So be careful in those areas, especially the enhanced risk, a big area from Texas to Kentucky. So there's the tornado threat is just a 2%. Those areas from Texas to Kentucky, even to southern branches of Ohio, Indiana, there's the greatest threat for wind, 30% in those areas. So be careful, some damaging wind gusts, those storms. There's the 15 and 5% as well. So be careful, and there's hail, 30% hatched in Texas for some significant hail still. So stay safe in those areas. Be careful. There's the 15, the 5%. The 5% goes very far north. So be careful. There's like widespread strong thunderstorm development is expected from parts central and eastern Texas to the lower Mississippi and Tennessee valleys and the Cumberland Plateau by the evening. This includes potential for large hail, damaging wind gusts, and so please stay safe. There's here like the her. Let's just see if he has something for the significant tornado parameter, although the threat is not too high today. So there's like in Tennessee, shows some parameters this afternoon. So I'm scared about maybe like less than one, spots of Ohio, spots of Mississippi into Tennessee, slightly higher, but like very little, like 1.5 or something closer to. So just be aware there because the threat exists with those storms, but nothing crazy. Maybe a finger or two in Texas later in the evening. There's the updraft holistic for those storms, like the chance for rotating storms, severe storms shows more spots of southwestern Tennessee, so even other parts of Tennessee, Mississippi, and into West Virginia even shows a thing or two there. Western New York shows some as well. In southern Texas, central western Texas, southern Texas, and into northern Mexico too. So if you are there, be careful, but show some more intense ones, especially with hail spots of Texas. So be careful in those areas. Shows first, like let's see first the northeast, and then we'll move down. So there's like this afternoon shows this pop-up storms, some stronger ones in Ohio, into New York, Pennsylvania, even some into Vermont, Virginia. This goes and this stronger line comes later in Kentucky, those stronger storms. This goes into Ohio later in the evening, and more spots. This rain storms continues tomorrow, Saturday, and maybe still some severe potential Saturday afternoon, tomorrow in the mid-Atlantic. So be careful those areas. There's now Texas here, shows storms between Texas and Louisiana later this afternoon, some around central Texas, and then especially those ones late in the afternoon, northern Mexico and south central Texas, like near southwestern Texas. Those ones might have some very big hail initially, even a tiny tornado threat. So be careful this goes, and some heavy rain through southern Texas later into tomorrow morning. So stay safe in those storms, especially those ones. There's Cape as well, shows like more spots south, eastern and southern Texas, and it's very high, even more than 3,000 joules per kilogram, even close to 4,000 spots of Texas this afternoon. Then it decreases later, but stay safe in those areas, be careful. And there's Cape as far north as New York, there's more in Ohio, spots of Kentucky, Tennessee as well, Mississippi, so there's a lot of energy there. Be careful those storms. And here for some future look, there's like uh, into next week still shows possibly this other system, like next Tuesday, some snow in the Rockies, and those storms there. So today's Friday. I'll show you the outlook that we have for next week. Then still by Wednesday, May 7th, shows some storms. So let's see here first the rest of the outlook before saying things. So let's see. Still a marginal risk on southernmost Texas and the eastern part of the US for Saturday. So goes all the way from northern Florida to southern New Hampshire, the marginal risk. So there's 5% wind across Texas and the east. Hail shows a smaller area, but some hail possible there as well in southern Texas. And tornado threat less than 2%. Isolated strong to severe storms are possible on Saturday from the southeast to southern New England across deep South Texas. So be careful in those areas. And there's here, let's see if it works because it's very slow, but day 3 shows this tiny marginal risk in spots of the Carolinas and Georgia still for Sunday, so be careful there. A few strong to severe storms are possible across southeast Georgia and in eastern South Carolina and southeast North Carolina, so be careful Sunday, nothing crazy, but be aware. There's now, let's see, for day 4 next Monday, I already have a 15% spots of Texas and northern Mexico and even southeastern New Mexico, so be careful. This for Monday. Tuesday still nothing, Wednesday nothing, but Monday we already have this light risk central to western Texas, so be careful in those areas. Lee cyclogenesis will strengthen on Monday across southern high plains as a mid-level trough affects eastward. This occurs, reach low-level moisture back to western Texas and will result in strongest instability as temperatures continue to cool aloft. Expect scattered thunderstorm development along the dry line during the afternoon and evening. However, more widespread storm development likely after 0Z as low-level jet strengthens across western Texas. Initial supercells have a threat for all severe hazards before the eventual upscale growth of MCS likely will result in a greater severe wind threat. So be careful for Monday, those areas. There's one interesting thing here, the fire outlook. Let's see if it loads because this thing is acting very weird these days. But let's see, there's some isolated dry thunderstorms possible spots of New Mexico and Arizona today, so be aware those areas. No crazy fire threat, but a few dry thunderstorms possible, so be aware. There's day 2 still, shows like, let's see, here still a similar thing, spots of New Mexico and Arizona, some dry thunderstorms, just isolated, very isolated, nothing crazy. But let's see, day 4 we have a critical array, potential fire danger southern Arizona into New Mexico, so be careful in those areas and stay safe. Now let's see here if there's something else interesting for these systems coming. So there's the GFS for Monday, that low pressure in the southwest, and that cutoff low closer to the mid-Atlantic, there'll be some heavy rain. So this goal still shows by the end of next week some lower pressures there, and this omega block as well. So this goes, let's just see if there's anything about the average temperatures. So the GFS shows slightly below average in the middle US and that above average further in Canada and like northern US because of the high pressure there. Then mostly below average in the southwest next week, and then you might shift layers some more above average. But we watch those storms there, especially for Monday and Tuesday shows Friday, Saturday, that rain on the eastern US Sunday, and shows Monday some storms. It's not so pronounced here on the European, but it shows later like into Monday evening to Tuesday, that's severe weather there. So be careful. And if you're watching this video from Europe, just commenting here about these storms across Spain happening now. There's that level 2 of strong storms in parts of Spain and France and southern Turkey too. Some very high chance of hail, especially in Turkey and Spain, and some stronger storms in Germany too, and even the Netherlands, and high chances of lightning. So just be careful there too. And yeah, be aware. So yesterday in the video we talked about the temperatures in the outlook for the US and Canada. It's still similar thing. We talked about wind as well and everything. So check that video to get a more in-depth outlook. But let's just see if there's something else important. That slight risk of excessive rainfall today across the south and like Texas, and the marginal goes all the way from Texas to Pennsylvania. And this light goes all the way to Tennessee, a marginal New Mexico too, so be careful. Day 2 a marginal like near the Appalachians, the Mid-Atlantic. Day 3 shows more in the east still and the southwest. Day 4 a slight in Texas already and spots of the east. And day 5 a slight in the south. So be careful. Day 1 through 7, they are showing even to 7 inches next 7 days of rainfall across Texas, Louisiana, and Arkansas. So please be careful those storms. Some more rain on the Mid-Atlantic, New England, close to 3 inches to 4 inches. So be careful more across the high plains and spots of the southeast. Even Florida might get some. So be aware. On the west too, there's that snow, especially like California Saturday, spots of Colorado day 3, day 4 across the Rockies, day 5, day 6, still possible. So be careful that snow still, and these storms of course. So stay safe, and especially those storms today, the answer is the damaging wind gusts that might come with the storms and hail and everything. So be careful.